What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday, and welcome into the final MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show here on Fantasy Alarm for the 2024 MLB season. That is right. This is the last show. The MLB season comes down to Sunday. Just kidding. It's now Monday. It comes down to one final slate on Monday due to the hurricane that is currently hitting the southeast. The Braves and the Mets will wrap up the season with a doubleheader on Monday, at least regular season. And then the playoffs will begin Tuesday, I believe. So no time off for those teams. But you know what? 162 games is no time off, right? So nothing like another day here for the Mets and the Braves. But this is the last show. John wrapped his MLB podcast season up yesterday. Henry, you and I get to the final show of the year. First and foremost, thank you, everyone out there, the FA Nation, the family, for tuning in each and every day. Obviously, the way that the season works is, we start with basketball going on, then the season goes on and football starts, and your guys, desire to continue watching for MLB DFS continued throughout during basketball, during football, and everything obviously in between was great as well. So we appreciate you guys showing up each and every day. The select few of you leaving comments on our YouTube channel every single day, the select few of you coming into our Discord every single day, talking shop, and we appreciate you. And then secondly, Henry, you and John both, I appreciate you guys for being great co-hosts on the show, very knowledgeable. You definitely listen way more than John, so it's a much better show with you than it is when John's doing it. But we appreciate you stepping up to the plate this year, and really hitting a home run as I just wrap up the show with one more dad joke before we get out of here. Sorry for the long, intro here, but Henry Wilson, everybody, joining the show. You can follow Henry on the X Machine, Henry at Henry13 Wilson 13. Henry, what's going on, bro? Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday, and yeah, thanks to you as well. It's been a fun season. It's been great getting to co-host with you as well, and yeah, crazy that it's coming to an end here after 6 months. It's a long season, but excited to move into the postseason. Should be a lot of fun. And yeah, it's been a great one, and we'll be, back at it next year for another 162.
Another 162 is right. As we are recording, this is Friday. We had to say goodbye to one more team today in the Seattle Mariners. They've officially been eliminated from postseason contention. So as it stands, there are 2 spots available in the American League, 3 teams left: Royals, Tigers, Twins. I don't think the Tigers are ever going to lose again, but we will see. And then in the NL, there are also 3 spots up for grabs, or 2 spots up for grabs. 3 teams left: Mets, Diamondbacks, Braves. That is separated by 1 game, so it should be a tremendous finish to the weekend.
Yep.
Obviously, baseball doing it right with the controversial, I guess, doubleheader on Monday, but nothing more fun than having meaningful baseball come down to the last day. So let's get into this slate. We're not here to talk MLB playoffs. We're here to talk MLB DFS again for the last time of the year, at least on this podcast. We will still have MLB DFS playbooks you can find over at fantasyalarm.com leading all the way up until Sunday. We'll talk about what we're going to do for Monday, but I'm assuming we're going to end our coverage on Sunday. And then playoff coverage, of course. There'll be playbooks and all that stuff for the postseason. Starting us off, if you guys are new here and tuning in for the first time, well, sorry, because you'll have to wait till next year to hear the MLB DFS pod. But we do obviously go live for football Thursdays. We go live we record an MLB or NFL DFS podcast here on the channel with Howard Bender and Jonathan Mpemba. And then Sunday you can find Andrew Cooper and Jonathan Mpemba back answering all your fantasy football questions. Me and John Mpemba will be back for the NBA season that's starting on October 22nd. So we'll have the intro pod out before then. So if you aren't already a subscriber to the channel, please do so you don't miss any videos. All the housekeeping aside, We are finally getting into this position by position breakdown here. We'll start at pitcher. Got a couple names over 5K. Luis Castillo making his return from the IL, 9,800. Ronel Blanco, 96. Max Fried, 94. Carlos Rodon, 93. And Jose Barrios, $9,000. There are obviously, I would say, concerns with a couple of these guys. Castillo coming off the IL with nothing to pitch for. Ronel Blanco has not looked great. There's two pitchers in meaningful spots, and Jose Barrios just kind of like, hey, having a really good season. Don't forget about me. What do we got here at the 9K and up here, Henry?
Yeah, there's really one name that I think that sticks out a lot to me, and that's Carlos Rodon here. I think just getting to face Pittsburgh, there's a great matchup, and he's looked really good for a while now. He's been racking up strikeouts. Obviously, the last two starts are a little lower strikeout numbers, but like they were still solid outings. And before that, you see the 9, 11, 8, like big strikeout games. So he's been pitching really well down the stretch. And in this matchup, I just think that he'll continue to pitch well and could strike out a lot of Pirates in this spot. And again, with some concerns for the other top guys, I think he's just the clear number one here.
I also agree. I think he is the clear number one as well. And, if the Yankees, we're recording this before that game starts on Thursday. If they don't win, they're still looking for that one win away from the division. So, they're going to have a likely full capacity Rodon. Now, I guess depending on what happens on Thursday is going to be depending on if they extend him, or they are only half a game ahead of the Guardians as we're recording this. So they do want the overall 1 seed. So I'm assuming things will be, pretty status quo. We'll see full capacity Carlos Rodon, but we'll see if there's anything out of the Yankees camp if they clinch on Thursday, what the plan is with Rodon and if there's any type of limitations. I agree, though. I mean, I think there's obviously going to be some type of limit on Luis Castillo. I don't see how coming off the IL.
3 weeks on the IL.
Yeah, and again, nothing to play. Nothing to play for. It just doesn't feel necessary. Blanco has not pitched well. Largely, I know we had a couple of relief appearances that were okay. The Angels start was fine. The Angels starts, I should say, were fine. Not in love with this spot against Cleveland, who's
Guardians
also
are still a tough matchup too.
They are. They don't strike out a lot. So I'm with you there. I would, I guess, have mild interest here in Jose Barrios, just considering how well he has pitched down the stretch. I mean, we're talking about a lot of starts in a row in which he has gotten a quality start, but math is hard. 8 straight starts of 2 earned runs or less. I mean, really good stretch of baseball. So Jose Barrios over the last 10 starts, 8-2, 2.06 ERA. I mean, that is quite good. The strikeouts have been fine. So I will grant that Miami has been better offensively against right-handed pitching. If you look at some of the numbers over the last month, they've been very good against righties, but I'd be willing to take a shot on Barrios. What about the 8K tier? Does any one particular name stand out?
One definitely sticks out to me, and that's Sean Manaea. This dude's been pitching great for quite a while now. It's just been consistently good. He's going out there and winning games for the Mets and piling up a lot of strikeouts. And look, the Brewers are a tough offense, don't get me wrong, but they're also they're all clinched up, and the Mets have to win every game right now. They are fighting for the playoffs, so he's going to be pushed, and he's going to continue to go these. I mean, look at the innings there of going 7 or 6 2/3 in each of those last 5 starts. And you keep going back, it's a lot of 7 innings that he's throwing, and with 7+ strikeouts a lot of the time. He's just looked really good. And so even against a tough Brewers team, I just really like the way he's been pitching and think he should probably be up in the tier with those other guys.
Yeah, I mean, tough spot, but he has pitched well against a lot of good offenses. So
yeah,
I'm in agreement. Pablo's fine. Baltimore bats are way.
Baltimore hasn't been scary recently. He still has crazy strikeout upside, but we've just also seen a lot of duds. But Twins also will be pushing. They've got to win games too. But
I think that's it.
Rough ones.
I think that's it. Under 8,000. I mean, Nick Pivetta, if he's gonna not be limited, I think would stand out against Tampa Bay. $7,900 is a really good price. It's the cheapest we've seen him in since middle of August. So I like the price for Pivetta. Is there anything else that below Pivetta that intrigues you?
Yeah, agreed with you on Pavetta. The other name I'll throw out there is Frankie Montas. Look, the last outing was rough because of the Diamondbacks roughed him up, but the Diamondbacks have been roughing up just like everyone recently. Their offense has been super good.
Yes.
And so we knew that was going to be a tough spot for him. But look at all the starts before that, like 10 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 10 strikeouts. And that was 10 strikeouts against a good Phillies offense too, even. He's looked really good basically since joining the Brewers. And so obviously, Mets aren't the easiest matchup, but I just think he's looked really good recently, and I'm okay to kind of ignore that Diamondbacks outing and think that at this price, he still provides a lot of upside right now.
I'm a little. Only thing I'd say is I'm a little torn on Brewers pitching in general because we were told that their starters would only go 5 innings for the remainder of the year. Right, that was what the manager told us. They said starters would go 5 innings. Well, on Wednesday, Freddie Peralta pitched into the 6th inning, and then on Thursday, Aaron Savali pitched 6 innings. Neither of those things equal 5. They both are greater than 5. So, like on one hand, coach speak is coach speak in all sports, right? Like, doesn't matter if it's baseball, basketball, football. Coaches are lying pretty often, and I get it. It's like a strategic thing, but I don't understand like what the point of telling us that they were going to pitch 5 innings and then they don't. But like if certain pitchers are only pitching 5 innings, then I think that kind of lowers their ceilings. That would be my one concern if Montas falls into that bucket where he's randomly just a guy who's like suddenly like, hey, 5, go get him for 5, Frankie. Like I don't know. He's been an oft injured pitcher in previous years, so I could see that like a scenario, but we'll see. I don't disagree with you that he's pitched really well outside of the Arizona start. I am just a little torn on the way that they've handled their pitching. And honestly, that goes this week for Jose Barrios too. The Blue Jays have limited their pitchers as well down the stretch. So I mean, everything is ace is wild on this slate, right? Like we don't know what's going to be what because a lot of this doesn't matter.
That's why a lot of these good pitchers who are on teams that are actually playing for something is the safer bet because the team either they're in the postseason, it's clinched, or they're just already out of it. Like it's just who knows what they're going to do with their pitchers. The management is going out the window, and so you're taking at least a little more of a risk when you're taking one of those guys.
Is there any punts? And I guess like the one question would probably be like, if you're choosing a punt, it's probably between Detmers and Povich. Both are like strikeout arms that also have like massive blow up potential. Detmers looked really good upon returning and then got absolutely hammered in his last 2 starts. Cade Povich has looked pretty good, especially on the strikeout front this month. And Minnesota, as we know, has just not been the same offense. Would you be willing? Because like I'm not playing Tony Gonsolin in his first start, and I'm not playing Quantrill obviously against the Dodgers. Would Povich or Detmers intrigue you at all at their price tags?
I could go Povich, just because again, you got that strikeout upside. He's looked really good over his last handful of starts. Detmers scares me just because. I mean, you look at the recent starts and like, look what Povich did to the White Sox. He dominated them as he should, 10 strikeouts. Detmers had 2 great outings, and then he gets the White Sox, and we think, great, he's going to just continue, and gets blown up. And then obviously Houston's a better offense, but just 2 duds, and one of them being against the White Sox. And considering before, like he came back and had those 2 great outings, like there's a reason he was coming back from the minors. Like he's been bad, and really inconsistent. So I just don't trust it. He burned me on the White Sox. I'm not ready to jump back in yet.
Yeah, I definitely lean Povich. I've
Yeah,
liked
he
the
looked really good.
strikeouts a lot, and for 6,300 against a really struggling Twins offense, if you're looking for a punt in order, because so breaking, we have not looked yet at Shohei Otani's price. At least I have not, and I told John all week. I think it's going to be. I think this is the first 8K player we get because we knew Coors was coming at the end of the week with the Dodgers. Have not looked. So like if you
I know what it
I
is.
don't know what it is. If Shohei is you know what it is? Okay. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'll
gonna
save
look
the
until we
surprise
get to
for you.
first because obviously he's a first baseman. But like if you need a punt, I think Povich is an option, considering there's a position player that potentially could be $2,000 more. Let's go to catcher. And we have we have core, so Will Smith exists. Um, Goodman and Stallings are both in cores as well. It's probably Will Smith or bust, right? Or at
Yeah,
least
I
like at
mean,
the
I think you
top,
can go Goodman
and
too. I
even
think
Will
like
Smith.
if you want to save the 1,000, go to the other
Okay.
side of that game. Goodman just looked really good recently. He's obviously no Will Smith, but he's been better than Smith recently and is still in course. So maybe this hot stretch will continue. But yeah, I think if you're paying up, go for the Coors game.
Agreed. $4,400, a lot of home run upside. Gonsolin making his debut. Plus a shaky middle of the bullpen for the Dodgers. The end of the bullpen's good. The middle of their bullpen's not. Sub $4,000. What do we like?
I like Del Castillo. I'm actually going.
He's not on the team.
Wait,
Not on
what
the team.
happened?
He's been once they
Oh, they
brought
option. That's right. They
Moreno off the
optioned when
IL.
they
They
brought Moreno
optioned him.
back, which I like Moreno, but I don't know.
I like him against the lefty. I like him.
Yeah,
here in the spot.
that's fair.
I like him
That's
against
fair.
lefties.
I also really like Kirk. Just continues to hit well for a really low price.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Alejandro's really solid end to his season after struggling for large portions. If you're against playing Frankie Montas, you want, I mean, basically Hunter Goodman for $1,000 cheaper is Francisco Alvarez, who's hitting a lot of home runs lately. That's kind of what he was known for when he first got to the majors, like just insanely powerful catcher, right? Like rare catcher power. 5 home runs his last 10 games. Right time for the Mets. The Mets have needed him obviously with Lindor out of the lineup. So that should probably be my catcher pool.
Jonah
I'm sure
Heim.
we'll get something else.
Yeah.
You can play Jonah Heim. Yep, Jonah Heim, who's a switch
He's
hitting
good
catcher
against
against
lefties.
Detmers. And you mentioned, yep, whoever starts for the Cardinals both have had really good series in cores. In fact, both have homered today. Pedro Paez and Ivan Herrera have both homered on the Thursday slate. So whatever Cardinal catchers, and you can play them too. All right, first base. I knew it. I just knew it. He just had to be. It had to be the case. Shohei Ohtani is officially $8,000. Now, I'm just gonna ask because you've always been like you've been the first person. You're on the front lines. Like, guy has to double down 2 stolen bases, and that was at $7,000.
Yes.
Is it too expensive?
This is too expensive. I don't care that it's in Coors. I don't care that it's Ohtani. It's $8,000. I can get Matt Olson for $2,700 less, who's crushing the ball right now also. And like peak, he's looking like peak Matt Olson. He's also an amazing hitter. Like, why am I paying an extra $2,700 for Shohei Ohtani? Like, I get he should be the most expensive player. He should be a lot. 8K it's absurd. I'm sorry. You cannot pay that for a hitter. I just don't think you can.
How many pitchers is he? He's more expensive than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the 24 pitchers on this slate. Shohei Ohtani is more expensive than. Like, I'm okay. I'm like generally in agreement. I'm like largely in agreement. But like, and I don't know how repeatable this is, right? Because this is like the greatest. This is like the greatest game in baseball history.
Yeah.
6 for 6, 5 extra base hits, 10 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, like out of the leadoff spot, right? But like the stretch that he's in, it just wouldn't surprise me if there was something similar that happens this weekend. Not like of that ilk, but like double dong, 2 stolen base, 3 for 5, right? Or
No,
something,
it's not going to
something like
surprise me either. And like, look, I'm not saying that he can't be worth 8K, and I'm not saying you can't build a lineup with him that is a winning lineup, and like he could be the piece that wins you a
that. Right.
matchup still. Like that is, it could happen. Like I will not be at all surprised, but I still think it's just bad process to use it. Like I think it is unlikely that paying 8K is going to be worth it. It might be, and he might still win you a slate even paying 8K. I just think it doesn't make sense to trust on that though. It's absurd. Yeah,
It's expensive.
what he's doing is
Freddie
absurd.
Freeman,
So.
the what he's doing is absurd. Freddie Freeman, $2,200 cheaper is the second first baseman on the slate. Matt Olson, as you mentioned, $2,700 cheaper. Vladdy, $2,800 cheaper. Mike Toglia on the other side of this game, where nobody will play, nearly $3,000 cheaper. You mentioned Olson. Is he just the clear other option? In the
I really like Vladdy too. He also has just been crushing it. I think I prefer Olson. They're close in price. Yep. So I'd lean Olson, but Vladdy continues to be awesome. So I really like both of those, and like really don't mind spending up when I don't know. I feel good spending over 5K at a position where I know there's an 8K player too. Of like, I feel like I'm getting a discount on Matt Olson or Vladdy over 5K because the amount of money I'm saving by not playing Ohtani.
Yeah, and realistically, like everyone's going to find a way to get Shohei. Yeah. Shohei is going to be popular. $8,000 or not, he's going to be popular. So you're just automatically leveraging the field with Olson or Vladdy. So I agree. In the 4K range, a lot of first basemen on the board: Christian Walker, Pete Alonso, Yandy Diaz, Salvi, Naylor. Like, what do we like in just the 4K range?
Yeah, I like Josh Naylor. Again, Cleveland's playing important games right now. He continues to hit well. I also like Tristan Casas at 4,300. He's starting to look healthy and look like himself again, which we know can be a player that's worth way more than 4,300 if he's hitting well. So like that as well. Yeah,
the power too. I mean, I know the 3 home runs in one game is one game, but still, it just shows you the upside that he has. I agree. Let's move down the list to the sub 4K range. I'd be okay going to like Ryan O'Hearn, Spencer Horwitz. Unfortunately for Horwitz, he lost his eligibility. Vladdy has third. Also took Vladdy's. That sucks. So you have to make a decision between Horwitz and Vladdy. Can't stack them both. What else do we like in the value range?
Jonah Bride against Barrios. Like, if you're not a Barrios believer, like Bride just continues to crush the ball.
Where am I? Did I scroll past him?
Yeah,
30. Oh my God.
He's super cheap.
Really
good. Like 3,100 seems really cheap for how well he's been hitting the ball. And then if not him, I'm probably just going all the way down to Manzardo, who I think is also just way too cheap, who's even cheaper than Bride. He continues to hit the ball really well when he's in the lineup. I don't know why he's still 20. Like, his price is going down. Why is it going down? It doesn't make sense.
Football is on the brain here, Henry, and the price is going down. Except Shohei's price. They had to get that in. They had to sneak in the 8K price. Everything else was irrelevant. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything else. I might throw Soderstrom out there. He's been really good since coming off the IL. A lot of extra base hits. But I think that's it. Let's go to second. Ketel Marte, Jose Altuve top the list. I mean, I'm never against paying a premium for Ketel Marte when he faces a lefty. And that's not going to stop now.
No, absolutely not. I think there's not great options at second either. Like, it's either you're punting or I think you find a way to pay for Marte, just because he is, in a lefty especially, he is such a tier above anybody else at this position.
Yeah, 4,800 for Gavin Lux when he can't hit the ball seems
Yeah,
a
some of
bit
these price
much.
jumps for the Dodgers
Ozzy,
are a bit much for me. Like they're pretty wild.
yeah. Well, I guess that sounds like Mookie's going to be over 7K. I'm excited to get there. I'm excited when we get there. Jimenez 43, he's fine. Glaber's fine. Yeah, I largely agree. I mean, what punts are
Yeah,
intriguing to you? Brendan Donovan, probably the first name I'd get to, right? I mean, he's
yeah, it's
super solid.
probably Brendan Donovan, maybe Jorge Polanco, um, and
Did I pass Polanco? He's cheaper. He's 33.
mhm.
Yeah, Polanco's been good. Polanco's been very good. I hate the ballpark there, but
And
it's
then,
fine.
if you really want to go super
Um,
cheap, you could go to like one of the Red Sox guys, like Nick Sogard or Von Grisham, if they're in the lineup. I think if you really want to like super punt, those guys could still bring some value. We finally saw like a good game out of Grisham, so 2,200. If you like want to go full punt because you got to pay 8K for Otani, you could go there.
yeah, I don't hate Grissom. They're
Yeah,
gonna play. I mean, they're playing them every day, right? The Red Sox eliminated. They had nothing to lose, so it seems like they're gonna just run him out there. Segassi probably not gonna be in the lineup. He's had a pretty good series against Core. Of course, let's go to third. Third base, Jose Ramirez, 2 home runs away from joining the illustrious 40-40 club, and nobody cares. Tweeted that the other day. Still, nobody cares. Not anybody. Max Muncy is too expensive, but he is obviously multi-home run threat every time he steps into the box. Jazz Chisholm, 53, struggling. Ryan McMahon, 51 at home. Manny Machado, not struggling at all, 5,000. What do we got above 5?
I mean, yeah, Jose Ramirez is obviously the favorite, but you got to pay for him. 6,600 is a lot, but yeah, he's about to be 40-40. Like this dude's having an amazing season. He always finds new ways to be underrated, and so this time it just happened to be
Yes.
having a 40-40 season for the first time when Otani is doing what he's doing. So no one will notice, but he's still fantastic and is worth 6,600 because he's that good.
Yes, those things are all correct. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. He's an elite baseball player. You can definitely play Muncie McMahon. Both are in cores, obviously bumped to
Yeah,
both
like
those
that
bats.
Muncie price is jumped up too, but like Lux, I wouldn't consider at that price jump. This price jump is still a lot, but like, look, it is Muncie. It's in cores. He has the upside that someone like Lux doesn't. So if you're really trying to get some of that Dodgers
Correct.
exposure, I can absolutely get to Muncie.
I think that's the difference. That what you just said is perfectly sums it up. That's the difference. Sub $4,000, or sub $5,000 rather. Alex Bregman, 47. Jordan Westbrook has looked pretty good since returning. Eugenio Suarez, 45. Royce Lewis, 45. Mark Vientos, 44. Matt Chapman in his shiny new contract, 44. Connor Norby, 43. Junior Caminero, 42. Isaiah Kiner Falefa, Nolan Arenado, Kike Hernandez round out the 4K. What do we got?
Yeah, I really like both of the pair at 4,400, Vientos and Chapman. Both hitting the ball well. Both, if you don't trust Montas, but I kind of like Montas, so you could pivot to Chapman, who's been fantastic and is facing Miles Michaelis. But I think just both have been really good bats.
Yep.
And I think depending on what direction you're going, I like both of those guys.
Agreed. I think both are more than solid. Some of the other guys are struggling. I'd probably throw Suarez into that equation just because the
Yeah,
lefty is
he's slowed
on
down
the
a
bump.
lot. It's
But
not as exciting
I
as when
agree
he's
with
just destroying the
he
ball.
has.
But yeah, you're right. It's a lefty on the mound, so you shouldn't be scared of going back to him.
He has slowed down quite a bit. What about value? I mean, I think probably for me, it's Joey Ortiz is probably like and probably Ramon Urias. But what do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. There's not a lot of the value third base that I really like today. I mean, and we didn't mention him at second base, but if Casey Schmidt is starting, I don't know how often they're actually starting him against righties. But
Uh, it's just, I know, I get it. You're not wrong.
but
Yeah, he goes through these stretches, man. Like the last 2 years, I feel like he's been like super good for like a couple weeks, and then he's and then he's like unable to hit a baseball, and then he gets sent down, and then we repeat the cycle. So I don't hate it,
Yeah.
don't love it. It's a punt. Punts, if he goes 2 for 3 and like has 2 RBIs in a run, like you win because you probably were able to afford
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani. Shortstop, obviously a very appealing position. Bobby Witt, 6,500. Gunnar Henderson, 61. He looks really good at the dish right now. Ezekiel Tovar, 57. Francisco Lindor was slated to play Wednesday before the hurricane wiped the games out. So obviously 2 extra days of rest probably didn't hurt Francisco Lindor at all. 56. Tommy Edman being 5K is a little crazy, but what do you like in the 5K?
Yeah, obviously, if Lindor should be in the lineup, so I do like him. I think he can be just as good as the rest of these guys, but it's cheaper. It's still a lot. You still have to pay for him, but I really like him. He's been performing super well. Yeah, 5K for Tommy Edman in Coors. Like if it was against a lefty, I'm still paying the 5K for him. Like, but against the righty, I don't think I can do it.
Agreed. Agree on both fronts. So let's not. Let's go sub $5,000. Carlos Correa, Willie Adames, Xavier Edwards, Mason Wynn. What do we got for under $5,000 as Henry is playing a magic trick? Oh, look, he did a disappearing act on the last show, and then but he did come back. What do we got? Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, that is always a scary feeling. Usually I'll be like, I'll text my wife, be like, hey, I'll just be like, laptop dying, need charger or something, and she'll like sneak in the room. What do we got sub $5,000 here?
Yeah, I like Mason Wynn continues to perform well. You had your frustrations with him earlier about him getting an error, not a hit, but that's not his fault. So I'll go back to him. He keeps performing well. I also really like Jeremy Pena, just getting to face the lefty. I know he's kryptonite for you, but I always like him against lefties.
Oh, dude, I mean, good luck to everyone that plays him. I will not be. Good. I'm happy for you guys if it works out. It won't work for me. Yeah, sub 4,000. Geraldo Perdomo. I think he's probably in play.
Yeah, it's probably Perdomo always I like against the lefty. If you want a punt play, Peguero, 2,200, who just got called up. Obviously, really like Rodon today, but we're talking about a 2,200 punt play, and this is a guy who has a pretty good bat, and so for this cheaper price, he could do something. Yep,
and some speed too. So a little power speed combo in the bottom half of a lineup. Let's finish it off in the outfield. Mookie Betts 68. That's a discount. I see. Teoscar 57. Wow, they really cheaped out on the Dodgers. You can play any of them. Just give me some of your favorite targets above 5K.
Yeah, a lot of guys are so highly priced. So I feel like a couple of guys that jump out to me are like Soto. Obviously, is really expensive, but just compared to those other guys, being a little cheaper sticks out. And then if you will go a little cheaper, like guys like Ozuna and Tatis, I think again in a day where a lot of these guys are super highly priced, these are both guys who are crushing the ball, and you get them in these lower 5K ranges and not the upwards of 6K or more.
Dude, it's so fun seeing Fernando Tatis.
I'm really excited for him to be healthy and in the playoffs, and I kind of hope the Padres can make a deep run. It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I actually on the last episode of the Caught Stealing seasonal podcast, I predicted the Padres to represent the NL.
I like it.
Dude, that pitching is too good. And the end of games, I know Suarez has been a little shaky, but they added a lot of arms at the deadline for a reason, right? For this particular reason. So I love the Padres. Love that their offense is clicking. Love to see Tatis and all of his just fun, right? All the fun on the baseball field. Haven't had it in a couple years since the steroid stuff, but he looks to be having a lot of fun right now. Under Fernando Tatis, Santander is there, 51. We're dropping below. Charlie Blackmon has had a really good end of his season. Currently today too, Blackman 1 for 3, 3 RBIs, a home run. So like you can't even like this is his third straight like big game. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not against Charlie Blackman here. Nolan Jones. Like, what do we like about this like lower 5, upper 4K range?
Yeah, agreed on like the Blackman and really these Coors guys. Again, with the Dodgers being so expensive, I don't know if people are going to really be excited about playing these Rockies outfielders either. Just because anyone who's looking at Coors is going to be salivating over getting the Dodgers in their lineup. And so yeah, I think they provide pretty good value. And yeah, Blackman retiring now, little farewell tour. Like maybe he'll put on a show in these last couple games at home. Like could be exciting. So I could see this tear at the end continue.
Dude, multi-hit games in 2 of the 3, and the third game at home is a 3 RBI with a home run day. Final 3 games of his career coming at Coors too. That's fun. I'm not a big narrative guy, but he has been good at home. If you look at the numbers, he's been really good at home against righties all year long. So Charlie Blackman 49, and I agree on your sentiments just about the Rockies in general. They're always the forgotten team in their own ballpark. They stink. I get it, but like they're obviously much cheaper than the Dodgers are. What about the rest of this 4K range? I mean, we have Chorio against a lefty. We have Nimmo, who's been on fire. We have Julio Rodriguez, who somehow is at 2020 because once again he only hits baseballs at the end of seasons, never in the beginning, only at the end. So we have those 3 names. Like anything else stand out?
Yeah, I like all those guys. I think also, Lawrence Butler just continues to be cheap and provide value. I also, who was the name? Colton Cowser. I think he's been really good. Obviously, Pablo Lopez is a tough matchup, but like he's been one of the best bats in the Orioles lineup recently. So at this price, I think he's pretty awesome.
He has been great. And he's another guy who can steal a base too. And we saw that the other night. I love using Wyatt Langford when there's a lefty on the mound. He has all his power this year has come against lefties. Yeah. And he actually just stole his 18th base of the year. So we're creeping closer to 20. Like there's a lot to like about Wyatt Langford in this spot, especially with how many home runs Reed Detmers is serving up. So I love Langford in the stretch that he's been on. Adolis Garcia, if you want to run like a 2-man Rangers with Adolis and Langford, both 42 and 4,000 respectively. Anything else in the 4K range? Or are we just ready to drop down into the value?
Jorge Soler, I think still being at 4K is too cheap for this guy. I don't know why he's that cheap when he provides this good of power.
Yeah, Braves are pretty cheap in general, right? I mean, the Braves are relatively cheap. Olsen is expensive. Everything else is super affordable. I don't even know. Did we see where's Michael Harris? He's 48. We didn't mention Michael Harris, but he's been better than everyone. He's been better than all of them. So I'd play Michael Harris. I know. Well, I was like, we're talking about all these Braves, and we haven't mentioned like their best player over the last month. So we should probably fix that. Sub 4,000.
Randall Grichuk continues to just crush the ball. So lefty on the mound, he'll definitely be out there. Like him, he's 3,900. He's right at the top of the tier. Yeah.
He'll be on he'll be pinch hit for just for context, but he has been great against lefties.
Yep, exactly. He can provide the value even with getting pinch hit for because he's been that good. Jason Dominguez as well, I think just continues to prove that he's ready to be in the majors. It's obviously not like
except his glove. He doesn't bring his glove to the ballpark.
But good thing that doesn't matter for fantasy, and they're still letting him run out there. So
you're not wrong. You are not wrong, sir. You are not wrong at all. I like both those names. Tommy Pham will lead off. I know it's a tough spot with the Braves announcing Fried's going to start, but he will lead off. Jesse Winker will be in the lineup. Michael Conforto is having a really good end to his year for a guy who was just kind of blanketed. Terrible ballpark, but good final stretch. Burleson will be back in the lineup after a couple days off. 3,600. Blade 3,600 is a good price.
Yeah.
Mentioned Donovan at second.
Yeah. Mike Ostremski, the other giant, has been lefty giant, has been pretty good too. So
True.
you want to like stack a couple lefty just against Michaelis and like Conforto, Ostremski, like both have been hitting well, really cheap.
Yeah, and you mentioned Chapman too. If you wanted to just go 3 giants, which Giants offense has been a little bit better of late. Renfroe homered on the Thursday slate, had been really bad, but it did come against a lefty for what that's worth. You could go there. Larinack probably won't be in the lineup. Lefty.
Or Snoop Bar, homered, so maybe he's showing a little bit of a life, and so it's been disappointing. But at this cheap, like he's better than this. He is.
Yeah. Oh, even since figured he would have he came back from injury and just wasn't great. Figured he'd probably be better. He wasn't. I agree on the Newt Bar call. Leody Taveras has been much better of late. I would consider Leody if playing more Rangers. Unfortunate part is this to stack them up. You're now just eliminating your whole outfield because you're playing. The position eligibility stinks. Obviously.
Yep.
Any pure punts down here? This guy Jonathan Clase has been pretty crazy good down the stretch. I don't know if we need to go there, but I thought I'd mention him. Last 10 games, 8 for 19, had his first home run, switch hitter. Again, might not need to go there, but just thought it'd be worth mentioning.
Yeah, facing Adam Aller, so if you're gonna punt some guys, anyone might be able to do some damage against him. So
that's what I was also thinking. This pitcher is not very good in Aller, so we like the Blue Jays. All right, let's build a lineup. Our final lineup construction of the year. Where do you want to kick off? I assume we're going to go Rodon. That would be my assumption on our SP1. What do we want to do for SP2? That's I guess the question.
I really like Manaea. I think if we wanted to try to go cheaper, because those are two higher priced pitchers, but I do think there are some value plays we can turn to as well.
Okay, let's see what we could do with Manaea.
Because I'd be okay pivoting to a Cade Povich if we wanted to throw a cheap guy in there who's got some upside.
Well, if we're gonna go to Povich, it's because we want Coors, right? We want Dodgers. That's the bottom line is we want the Dodgers. So it's up to you. Do you feel it necessary to play Dodgers in Coors Field on this slate?
I don't think so. I think they're really high priced. I think you can build a really good lineup without having the Dodgers.
Done. Let's build then. Let's go. Is there any particular spot you want to start in general? We'll just knock it off the board. Is there value option that you want to just plug? It doesn't have to be catcher. It can be catcher. What? Kirk? We just plug in Kirk 33.
Yeah, I like that. Again, I think we talked Blue Jays, so let's do it.
Okay. What else? Any other plugs for you? Just gotta play him. Let's use this guy.
I really like Matt Olson today. Okay. I just think 5,300 with how he is hitting the ball right now is a steal.
Okay. I also like Matt Olson. Lefties against Brady Singer have been a really, really good thing. So you know what? If we're playing Olson, we're also going to play his compadre, Michael Harris.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think little 2-man lefty stack there. Value. I think we had. Who did we have here? We had someone at second. Was it Polanco is an option? Otto Lopez.
I'd rather go value at shortstop first. Okay. To see if we can pay up for a second. Because shortstop, I think we can go a Perdomo or even go really cheap with the Peguero. And I feel comfortable there.
The Peguero thing I would be okay with if we weren't playing Rodon.
Oh, we're playing Rodon. Yeah, so go Perdomo. That's still good cheap against a lefty. Yeah.
All right. Let's search for some outfield value. Or Brendan Donovan at second if we wanted to play a
Yeah,
cheap second baseman
I'd
there.
be okay with that. He's been hitting the ball really well right now. I think with some of the other, I don't think we can afford like Ketel Marte. So if we can't get all the way up there, we might as well just go like a Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, if we're playing Olsen Harris, we're probably not getting to Cattell, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Brendan Donovan. So we have $3,800 for the remainder of our lineup. There's obviously outfield value. Third base. I don't think this was a position we wanted to. We found
No.
much value at.
Yeah.
Do we want to look? We'll look for more value in the outfield.
I
Is
think we're
there
gonna need
anyone?
outfield value for sure.
Um,
Let's see. Where's some of those names? I mean, we said Lars Nootbaar.
we could two-man. We could play the Newt Bar two-man. Donovan Newt Bar. They probably will correlate too pretty well in the lineup. I
Mm-hmm.
assume they'll hit somewhere close to. Let's do that.
Or
We get some lineup
yeah,
correlation. 4,200 short, third and outfield.
sweet. Third, I really don't want to go too cheap and kind of like living that 4,000 range. If we wanted to go like Matt Chapman or Vientos.
Okay. Do you have a preference? You have
Chapman.
Vientos, Chapman. Okay.
Yeah.
$4,000 if we wanted to. I know that puts us right on Jorge Soler just to complete a little Braves three-man. Or there's Adolis, there's Soler, there's Dominguez and Grishik right below. What are we feeling for this?
Yeah, I don't mind leaning Atlanta and going Soler. I wish we could have saved a little money and gotten to like Langford because you loved that one. I agreed with loving Langford, but we're just short of that.
How would we get there? How would we get there?
I mean, we could go off of Kirk actually and go Heim to get actually switch to a Ranger and go Jonah Heim and be able to afford Wyatt Langford.
I like it. I like it. All right. Carlos Rodon, Sean Manaea, Jonah Heim, Matt Olson, Brendan Donovan, Matt Chapman, Geraldo Perdomo, Michael Harris II, Lars Nootbaar, Wyatt Langford, 400 left over. Guys, if you want to build cores, we are not going to tell you no. We just chose not to on this example lineup. That's we're building an example lineup for somebody that isn't playing cores and is like, Shohei Ohtani's $8,000. Can't afford that. Cade Povich would obviously be the pivot at one of your pitcher spots to, get to Ohtani and possibly the other Dodgers. It's going to be almost impossible to get to a full Dodger stack if you're playing any expensive pitcher, but more power to you if you can figure out. We're just building example lineup here, like we've done all year. And again, that'll do it for the MLB DFS Game Day Playbook preview show here at Fantasy Alarm. We will be back next year. We will be around in the Discord remainder of season, regular and postseason. And if you guys do have any MLB DFS questions, you can find us in Discord. You can find us on Twitter. You'll see our Twitter handles right below. You can find Henry at Henry13Wilson13. You can find me at _real_grande. And again, big salute to you guys in the FA Nation. Big salute to you, Henry. Big salute to John and Pemba. Early season Howard Bender popped in some live streams and some playbook, some podcasts as well. So appreciate everyone who tuned in. If you're not already a subscriber, head over to fantasyalarm.com today to get the 7-day free trial, to get your first month discounted with code Let's Go right now. It's about $19 with that code. So get over to Fantasy Alarm today. Become a member of the family. Never miss another. You'll stay in the green for the rest of your life. But that'll do it for us today. Big shout out to everyone. That'll do it for us for the season. Salute to you guys. Catch you guys later.